I took this class 2 years ago called Deaf in Perspective. And within that class, it was one assignment where we had to say our goodbyes to someone that wasn't living anymore or to a situation that we felt needed to end. At the time, I had a friend that I felt like it was time to end the friendship. So I did the assignment on that. At the time I took the class, the emotions and everything that I was dealing with, I wasn't ready to fully release them. And it's like now, 2 years later, I feel like I'm ready to release everything and to just let it go. It took me 6 years, 7, to come and visit my brother's gravesite. And now 2 years later, I'm back sharing this moment with him. And I feel like it's just time that I let it go and let it be heard. I've been dealing with depression since 2006. I've held in a lot of anger since I was old enough to know what anger is or understand what anger was. And it's like now it's time for me to find peace in my life. Since I was younger, I've bounced from place to place, really wasn't stable, and that kind of created things. Then with the bullying from elementary school, then moving from Jersey to North Carolina to continue to get bullied. And it's like I was getting bullied for dumb stuff, like where I lived, what I wore. And it's like I didn't really understand why someone would care about where someone lives or who has what, but it happened. And it's been bothering me for years that people would materialize things and pick at somebody because they don't have. These girls, they didn't know my situation. They didn't know what I came from. They just know that I'm new to North Carolina. Not knowing could have cost me my life. Because at some point during my time in North Carolina, I thought about suicide. I sat in my room, this was during my teenage years, and thought about killing myself. It's just, when you're dealing with so much and then you have people that's just picking at you about nonsense, and it was too much for me, but I survived it. Then 2006 hit. 2004, my cousin got killed. That ate me up inside. I haven't seen him for years, and then we had a conversation over the phone finally after I don't know how many years about meeting up with each other. And then as soon as I get to Jersey, before I could even meet up with him, I get a call saying that he got killed. So going back into my senior year, like I slowly started losing reality. Then that happened in 2004. In 2006 is when my life just went out of control. My brother was killed. Going through stuff with my mother. During the time my brother got killed, I don't know if it was after the funeral or before the funeral, she told me I was dead to her. How can you tell your only living child that they're dead to you after you just buried somebody, or in the process of burying your son and their brother? Like, how do you do that? And it's like my life at that moment, like it just spun out of control. I didn't care anymore. So I went back to school just to find out that I only had 2 classes that I wasn't dropped from. So I'm 6 credits living in a dorm, had to explain my situation. And somewhere around homecoming, I just felt like nobody cared. So I decided that I was going to end my life. I went up to the top floor of my dorm room, which really wasn't high, so in reality I probably would have just had some broken bones, but I thought about jumping out the window. And I stood there for about a good 10 minutes debating whether I was going to go through with it or not. And at some point I just got back on the elevator and went back downstairs. I overcame that moment, but every other moment after that, in between, it's like I was just doing reckless stuff. I stopped going to school, called myself taking a break, partying, doing whatever I wanted to do. It's like I really didn't care about life. And it's like going through that, like, it's tough when you lose touch with reality. I didn't care what nobody said. I really didn't care what happened to me. And it's like going through that, I tried to go back to school. That didn't work out, so I stopped going. Then I get all this backlash. Oh, well, you're never going to finish school. You're not going to do this. Mind you, nobody's asking me, oh, well, are you all right? Are you okay? So I'm just going through life by myself, pretty much. Dealing with the grief that I haven't really dealt with. Then I decided to go back to school in 2009. And at that moment, everything kind of started making sense. I had one friend in my life that me and him, we just clicked, and reality just started setting in that it's time for me to change my life. Like, and within that moment of meeting him, even though we met in 2008, just chilling with him, like, it put my mind at ease. So somewhere around then, 2010 hit, I got pregnant. All I heard was, oh, you're not gonna go back to school, you're never gonna finish school, how you gonna finish school with a baby? Everything negative, nothing positive. And it's like, where's the support? Who said you can't have a baby and finish school? Which in the end, I still ended up finishing. After I had her, I went back to school. Fresh C-section cut and everything. A month later, back in school. Then finished in 13. And it's like, still, as soon as I do something wrong, all I hear is a negative. Everybody runs with a negative. And then when it comes to my family, all I hear is, oh, well, she's not a good influence, or don't be hanging around her and all this and that. But how am I not a good influence? Do you know what's going on with me for me not to be a good influence to your child? Like, nobody cared to ask me, am I okay? Or ask that question, period. And it's like, I'm just going through life not knowing which way my life is gonna go. So somehow or another, everything started coming together, because then I started taking these classes, and it was that one class that just put everything into perspective. And it's like, now here I am. It's like, now here I am trying to put my life into perspective, trying to let go of everything and move on, and realize that some things is just not going to change. But one thing that will change starting today is the way I go about carrying myself and handling myself with my life. I have put myself in situations, well, in a relationship that was emotionally abusive, which in result became physically abusive on my end. I was with someone for about 6 years off and on, and the emotional abuse, it just became too much for me with my anger and everything. And it's like I began lashing out. We started fighting, and it was just a relationship that shouldn't have never been a relationship. And then after that, after dealing with that, it's like I started losing myself again. And this is after I had my child. Then I came across this guy that considered, just chilling with, spending time with. And at some point, he decided that he was ready for sex. I wasn't. So he took it. And it's like within that moment, my whole life just came crashing down, because within that moment, the one thing that I felt I had control over, I didn't have control over anymore. Being forced to have sex with someone is not something that I thought I would experience. But with the lifestyle that I was living, I guess it was soon to come. Dealing with that, it's hard for me to really get a grip on reality. Coming out of an abusive relationship, being raped, having little to no family support, always having to defend myself with every decision that I choose to make with my life. Everybody telling me the decisions that I'm making are wrong, when nobody was there when my life seemed to be going out of control. And there was no help for me. Like, I'm just living life, doing what I want. And it's like now everyone want to talk about, oh, well, you should be doing this and you should be doing that. Where was that years ago? And it's like, I just need peace in my life. So like everything that I've been going through, some things I put myself in, some situations I put myself in, but I've got myself out of them. And in this moment, even though I'm pretty sure I didn't say everything that I needed to say, because I can't seem to get it right, but I know right now I'm on the track to becoming better and doing better and living better. So this is my official goodbye letter. I'm letting go of all the pain, the hurt, the deception that has been going on in my life. And it's like now, in this moment, I choose to live. And with that being said, I'm going to end this because it's taken me almost an hour just to do this. And I'm pretty sure that everything that I felt like I wanted to say, I hit, but probably didn't go into details. But this is a start. And this is where it ends.